so the topic I had for us to discuss before we actually get into the real topic, right? So we discovered and discussed the newest tag I wish to exist and be expanded upon.
Yes, that I created.
Yes. Enemies to brothers.
Enemies to brother.
Listen, no, I've now officially given it deep thought.
Okay.
So it doesn't actually have to be brothers in like the sense of
Blood brothers.
blood.
Right.
Like it doesn't have to be a secret surprise brother. That is not required. It doesn't even have to be formal in like an adoption sense. They can just have like
Brother
a brotherhood bond
Okay.
of some sort for it to count in my book. They also do not have to both be boys. It doesn't have to actually be literal brothers. It could be brother-sister. It could be sister-sister. Like, as long as, but like, enemies to sisters does not roll the same as enemies to brothers. Because enemies to brothers is close enough to enemies to lovers that people are familiar with it.
Yeah.
You know? And I just like the way it rolls.
Okay.
But like Merlin and Morgana, enemies to brothers would slay so hard. Okay? You know, it would. It would. So it doesn't require them both to be bros. They can be female bros. I don't care. Whatever.
Sure.
Did I have any other thoughts? I feel like I covered most of them just there. Like really
Rapid fire. Those
Did I have any other thoughts? Other than I obviously need more content specifically with this. Oh, okay. I did put like, I thought about random things because I was like, I can only think of my certain niches right now, but I read more than just my niches.
Uh-huh.
But like Thor Loki enemies to brothers would be so good. Yeah, you know I'm right.
Would be.
You know I'm right. You know what else I thought about? I was like, oh, that would be interesting. It'd be super weird, and I wonder how well it would go because one of them would be I'm the older brother, and the other one would be like, well, I'm literally the older brother. But it could be interesting. It could be good. I would read it. I would spend my time if it was good, even though
Of which? Of what?
Steve Rogers and Tony Stark.
I was gonna say that! I was waiting for you to stop talking.
No!
Wait, could you do Tony Stark and Steve Rogers?
Bro, forget enemies to lovers. I don't really care. Steve Stark can
Enemies
make
to
whatever the
brothers.
hell, whatever. Imagine the bonding that could, like, it'd be so interesting because Tony'd be like, I'm literally older than you, and Steve's like, but I'm
actually older than you.
and I'm older. I act older than you. Like when they first meet, Steve would be like, "You're not the older brother."
Wait, in
I'm
what
the older
context would this happen? Like, are they
2012.
okay?
Like
So they are
Avengers.
fully adults.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Don't have a father figure.
Nope.
Who's their father figure? You have to have a father figure in Enemies to Brothers, don't you?
You tend to need them, but like Merlin and Morgana don't need a father figure, so I don't think it's required.
Okay.
It's helpful,
It can be.
but it's not.
It could be Natasha.
Required. No. I feel like if anybody's gonna be a father figure to those two, it'd either be Bruce or I don't know if this would work for Steve. But I feel like Stephen Strange could father figure Tony Stark, even though he doesn't exist in Avengers 2012 like era.
And Tony hates him.
I know, but it'd be so interesting. It'd give Harry Snape Draco energy.
Which, by the way, is how this all came to be.
Listen, Severitis, I don't know if you recall episode 1. I don't really know if it counts as episode 1.
I don't know.
We've previously discussed Severus Snape, and I, at the time, did not like him nor dislike him. I preferred him over Albus Dumbledore, and I think he was a really important character in the series. I officially now like Snape. It has gone from nothing. I'm not Switzerland anymore. You know, I officially like Snape. Now, Snape in the context of the original series,
Hot.
in the context of the original series, not the movies.
Oh, I wouldn't know.
In the books, I'm like, he's necessary. He's an important character. He fights on the side of the light, but I wouldn't consider him a good person. Snape in the movies, different. I feel like Snape in the movies kind of is a good person who's learned from his past. He is that blithe, Byronic hero. Sorry, that was a new term I learned. You should look that up. Byronic hero. But Severitis fanfiction, bro, it's something else. There's something else in that stuff. I don't know what they put in it.
I found out what my roommate was reading that she sent you that excerpt from.
Yes.
So my roommate sent Maddie an excerpt from this book she's reading. Yeah, please read what she sent and what it said. But it had this term Byronic hero in it from a real life paper book.
To Sir with Love, how fanfiction transformed Professor Snape from a greasy git to a Byronic hero who's really, really into SM. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Fanfics and Friends. I'm Madison.
And I'm Bailee.
We're so glad you've joined us. We were going to talk about something Severus Snape, though.
So that book that excerpt is from this book she has that is, oh gosh, I don't know the Harry Potter book names. I think it's the Cursed Child. Cursed Child? Is that one of the books?
That's a sequel.
Oh, never mind. What are all the Harry Potter books names? Go.
There's Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Okay.
Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
Okay.
Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Okay.
Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
Okay.
Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix.
Okay.
Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows.
I think it might have been, I'm going to just go say Order of the Phoenix. I don't know.
Okay.
This is a book. It was a one-off book published, and it's
a character study of Severus Snape. Is that the book she was reading?
No.
Because there is one of those, y'all.
No.
It exists.
It's just a book of essays about, I don't think it was Order of the Phoenix. It might have been one of the earlier ones. But it was written right before the last book was out. So it was...
Whoa. Oh, so it's before we even know the real drama about Snape.
Yes. So that was written before the real drama about Snape. And it was talking about this idea of this Byronic hero that kind of came to be unintentionally by the authors. Like, J.K. Rowling was like, Snape is not hot. Like, I did not write him to be...
The same way she wrote about Draco Malfoy. She was like, he's not...
meant to be...
But he is.
But he is. Or he has become.
That's so interesting that it was written before Deathly Hallows.
Yes. Yeah, the whole book of essays was published before that.
That's crazy.
And it's not just about Snape. There's a bunch of different ones. There's a lot of... It touches on... there's a couple of essays on, like, Harry Potter and religion and the different things that have come up about that and how that's being perceived. There's about Hermione and sexism. It's just different. I don't know I think they're mostly maybe fans or maybe they're authors that have just written these like 5-6 page essays on
Interesting.
Not even theories. I don't know what you call it.
So what's the name of this compilation of essays? Do you remember?
It's the essays on whichever book that I can't remember it's about.
Oh, okay. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Not me opening my my Safari to fanfiction.
Just it stays open. Yeah, is that it? What does it look like? I know what the book looks like.
Shoot. This?
No, it's all brown, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not.
Same thing.
Could just be an older version.
Oh, that's The Sorcerer's Apprentice. Intriguing, go on.
Mapping the World of the Sorcerer's Apprentice. Is that not Harry Potter at all?
Not really. Like, the title is in a Harry Potter book. There's only one book I know of with an alternative name, and it's Sorcerer's Stone to Philosopher's Stone.
This is it.
Okay.
Mapping the World of a Sorcerer's Apprentice, an unauthorized exploration of the Harry Potter series complete through book 6.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. Well, funniest story ever, though. That's not what we came to talk about today.
Oh my gosh, you started it. No, that's not what we're talking about today. We're back. I don't know. What chapters are we reading? 7 through 15, I think.
7 through 14.
7 through 14.
Yeah. Let me go find that.
Of,
On Punching Gods and Absentee Dads.
Yes. I want to say fathers so bad.
Why?
I don't know. I just want to call everybody a father. Nobody is a dad. Everybody's a father.
But it's giving...
Happy Dad Day.
It's giving... Father.
But father.
My father would hear about this. But father, please. Like, it's so... I feel like father's so...
Dad. That's what I think when I hear dad. I don't know. Dad. I'm punching gods and absentee dads.
Oh, no, my brain is like, I'm punching gods and absentee dads. Like, my brain is just...
I don't know. I think because the word absentee is so like... And then it's like dads.
Absentee fathers? That just sounds like a self-help book.
Maybe that's why I feel like those words should go together. I've just seen it on self-help books. Maybe that's why.
Wait, that's like the ultimate self-help book. On Punching God and Absentee Fathers. Like,
wow, that is actually that's a killer self-help book.
Right, but it would be so centered probably on like social things. True. And like
not actual help.
What some people would consider help. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's really rage sounding.
Yes.
Yeah, that's probably not a good book to read, guys. This fanfiction quality. I don't know, but that self-help book though specifically.
I gotta find my
Yeah, me too. I gotta find it. I'm like knee deep in this other fanfiction.
Let me tell you something while we're looking for this then. I'm like 8 chapters in of A Court of Thorns and Roses.
Oh, whoa.
I know. A real book. And I think fan fiction has ruined me because I'm sitting here reading this. First of all, it's in first person. So I'm already like, okay, reader insert, slay. I'm reading this and it's not a bad book. It has been recommended to me so many times.
Yeah.
And it's a New York Times bestseller, whatever that means. Everything is. And I'm reading it and I was about halfway through, like maybe like chapter 6 and I was like, either I've just read really good fan fiction or this just reads like a fan fiction. And I don't know what that says. If that just says that there's really good fan fiction and authors out there, or
if it's just poorly written.
The quality of books has gone down. I don't read enough to know, but it was really interesting because I was like, I have read a fan fiction to this exact level quality.
Interesting. So like, I haven't read ACOTAR.
Right.
Somebody recommended Colleen Hoover books to me. The amount of
Wow.
I hear about Colleen Hoover writing.
Yeah, I've heard a lot.
And I feel like between the two, which I don't know anything about ACOTAR, but
I've heard good things.
I've got a friend who like reads a crap ton. Like she reads like 40 books. No, she slams books. She read all of them and like recommended them to me. Just knowing that and having read like a page of Colleen Hoover, I feel like if anything, there's just some really good fan fiction out there. And it's probably possible that some writing has gone down in quality. We don't talk like we used to.
No.
We don't even speak the way we used to. We're not formal at all almost ever. And even really formal isn't even formal. It's informal. We speak in informal and slang. We do not speak formally almost ever.
Fragmented sentences.
There is,
always.
That's why we struggle with punctuation. I think a lot of kids struggle with punctuation and conjunctions because we don't phrase our sentences properly ever. I mean, personally, I think I speak with semicolons often, but probably spent half of school not knowing what a semicolon was or how it was used or where it belonged in a sentence.
True. Yeah, I was bad at English. I
feel like we don't speak the way we used to, and it's probably because we don't
speak as much as we used to have to because we're
not speaking, right? And then some of it is because we're not pushing the same content into the next generation that we used to be, right? So like high quality books used to be what kids used to go to sleep to. High quality. And even when it wasn't like high quality in the sense of like high literature, The Hobbit is extraordinarily written with words beyond the average sixth grader's comprehension. And yet that was who was listening to it, right? And there is nothing against picture books. I loved picture books as a kid. But going on a bear hunt is simple English, right? Can't go over it. You can't go under it. We have to go through it. That's not complex.
Yeah.
Right? I think the most complex thing I ever listened to was musicals as like a young child, right?
Yeah.
I just don't think we intake the same quality that we used to either. And there's nothing wrong with the quality we're taking in now. It's just,
we intake a different quality of media.
And maybe quality is a bad qualifier. That's too many cues. Okay. And maybe quality is a bad frame. It's just a different level of it, of like, there's different reading levels.
And different style. People don't read as much.
That's true.
Period. End of story.
Yeah.
There's so much media that is not physical reading. Yeah. There's audiobooks. There's even like those podcasts that are like the sleepy time stories. Like I know they have those for kids.
Yeah.
You can put them on. It's an audio thing. And part of it is some of it, not to get into like parenting, which I have no like stake in. Part of it is probably that just maybe parents don't have as much time now to take the time in the evenings, or some maybe don't want to, but some maybe both parents work, they're tired, they want to go to bed, and there's this media available to them.
Let's use it.
Let's use it, which is not, use the resources.
Wrong with that, yeah.
But it does have an effect. Like
cause and effect, yeah, absolutely.
Everything that you do has an effect one way or another. Not to say that it's good or bad.
Every action has an equal
and opposite reaction.
Well, was that wise? We've gotten really off track anyway at this point. You know
what? Screw it.
Are we talking about Harry Potter today?
Who knows? We already did.
That's like the first thing I brought up. You're right.
But yeah, I think, and yeah, let's go completely off the rails. I was just talking with somebody about this last week, and we were just talking about parenting and generations and how different a relationship, specifically like a mother-daughter or a mother-child relationship, is going to look for our generation. We're Gen Z, by the way. I don't know if that's too much information. You know now. It wasn't painstakingly obvious.
It didn't reveal your birth date. I feel like you're safe. And your social security number is...
And also, yeah, the state I was born in. No, how different it's going to be simply because I was talking about in the context of my relationship with my mom. It's like there are a lot of things that I know that I talk about with my mom that she didn't talk about with her mom. And I think part of it was simply because my mom moved away from home, like states away, and they didn't have the immediate access, like the phones. Like when she was my age, it wasn't as much of I could just pop on the cell phone when I'm in the car driving to work.
Talk to your mom, yeah.
Talk to your mom. How different that's going to be and what kind of parents that's going to make our generation.
Interesting.
And so like going in with like the media, how that's going to just be different. And the way we're connecting with children is going to be different. And it's affecting them negatively or positively.
It is affecting them either way.
It is affecting them. A lot of people I think would say negatively. Just, I think that's the media that's being pushed. Just the iPad kids, that term that's been coined, I think now. But I don't know. And maybe because of the whole, we had all this media so fast. And then there's those like grouping of kids from like whatever 2000, the mid to late 2000s to now that are super dependent on electronics. If there's going to be like a swing back.
Right.
And it's just going to pendulum for the rest of time
and eternity.
It's going to be like, I didn't have this growing up, so we're going to do it this way. And then that's going to mess them up in some way, because no matter what,
I had this growing up, so you're not going to have
that. Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting.
Happens with money. It happens with
lifestyle.
We shouldn't get into this, but
yeah. All this stuff we have no. That's what podcasts are for, is talking about stuff you have really no business talking about. Anyway, I don't know. Do you have any?
I don't know. I think it's the one. I feel like it's a topic that you can go on and on about, because it's unraveling itself as we speak.
Yeah, it's
because there are people our age having kids. So how do they raise their kids? Because technically, our age, we didn't grow up with it from the beginning, but it was introduced pretty quickly in our lives as a norm. We were expected to figure it out and use it use it well and use it properly. Whereas like today's kids, they already know what they're doing. But the teachers know too. It's not a, let me help you figure this out, teacher. Like, I remember as a kid, like, that's not how Windows works. Like, let me help you out.
Yeah.
There ain't no way that's a thing today. There's no way kids and teachers bond in.
Because teachers, at least in elementary school, are our age.
Right.
Probably. Yeah.
Or they went through all the development that we went through. They went through experiencing it and learning it. So now at this point, they're set. They're ready to go. I just feel like, I don't know. Because I feel like a 3-year-old today depends on their parents. Do they watch TV all the time? Do they have an iPad? How many 6th graders have a cell phone today? You know?
And there's going to be like, the argument would be made that the world is scarier than it was, and they need that cell phone because we need to be able to have access to trusted adults and be able to have contact.
And then you can go the other way, though. The cell phone is the reason that the world isn't trustable.
Right. It's just,
I don't know.
It's such a weird and crazy thing. And, every day I thank God I don't have kids. So it's just, what did you say?
I said, oh. Anyway, honestly, me too, because that'd be terrifying where they come from.
Oh my gosh. Have you ever thought about that scenario? Like if a kid was dropped off at your doorstep, like what you would do?
I'd take that child to my parents or grandparents and be like, figure this out.
No, what do you do? Actually, what do you do if a child is dropped off at your door? Like, don't you have to report that somewhere?
Yeah, I'd be calling the cops. Be like, there's a child at my door. There's like, well, I mean, if it like is injured, like if it's like or hurt or covered in blood or something,
well, you're going to
I'm calling the cops either way. There's a child left at my door.
Probably driving to the hospital.
Oh, for sure. Well, I'm going to take their lead. If they tell me to take that baby somewhere, I'm taking the baby. If they tell me do not, I'm coming there, I will do nothing until they get here.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? But like, if there's something seriously wrong with the baby, or I'm like, this just happened, this baby was just born, you need to send an ambulance around where I live, sir. Concerned for some young, or not young, just some lady, okay?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there a note? Is there a note? Like,
this is the chosen one. It says that in the basket.
Note up.
Oh my gosh.
You can go to Hogwarts, but we ain't messing with this chosen one business. Get in here.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh, that's too deep into fanfiction right there. That is some first person insert I do not wish to read.
Oh, I read. Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry.
I'm so mad. No, I read. It was a stupid. I'm not gonna say what it was. It was a stupid reader insert. Doesn't matter. I read, and the whole time I was like, "This is dumb. I shouldn't." But I was like, "Oh, it's only like 20 chapters. It's only 30,000 words. That's child's play."
No, it is.
And it is. And I finished it in like a couple hours. The end of it, it's like great, happy ending. They're together. They're like walking out for this event. She has this box for him that looks like it's like a watch box. And he proposes to her. And she's like, yes, and I have something for you. Pregnancy test. Pissed.
What?
I'm so mad. I'm like, why did you? And like, it's the end of the story. So like, whatever, I guess. But like, why do we have to do that?
Okay, but who was it?
What do you mean, who was it?
What was it about?
It was Loki, of course.
Wait, but why was it stupid?
The concept was stupid.
Oh, okay.
It was like, I wanted like a Professor Loki AU, but I didn't want it to be weird. Do Do you know what I mean? Like, I wanted, like, Allie Hazelwood, consensual, both, like, there's not the weird, like, student-teacher thing. I just wanted him to be, like, a professor and them be, like, in some sort of situation where they would also be kind of on the same level or, like, grad student vibes.
But that's not what you got?
No, that is not what I got at all. But I was already, like, a few chapters in. I was like, I gotta keep it up.
It was too late, we're here.
Yeah, it was too late, we're here. It was not good.
I guess you have to write it.
Okay. When you write your enemies to brothers.
About who, yo?
Draco and Harry. What do you mean?
Assigning that to me?
Yeah, that's your assignment. Come back next week. One
Bro,
shot.
You know the one I'm reading right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like they've regressed in age almost. Like, I'm not angry about it, but they're acting like 16-year-olds. Like real 16-year-olds. Like, they have these random mood swings that they don't have in the movies or the books. And I'm like,
Trying to make it realistic.
my brain just can't compute them. Because I'm like that. But, huh? Although it got really wild really fast. Like, I told you it was darker and they're older.
Yeah.
Like, you probably wouldn't read it. It's got, like, intense violence in one chapter that I was like, huh? Like, I'm fine, but I was just... And then we find out that, like, Draco was literally there, which is crazy. So, lots of things happen that I can't explain all of it to you, but something happens where Harry ends up with, like, a bunch of Death Eaters and Voldemort, and he can't do magic. That's, like, right? That's what's happening. And then when he finally is away from that and, like, in a safe place being, like, healed because he has a bunch of physical damage and magical damage, like, Draco Malfoy is there. And this is, like, 6th year, right? And he's like, what are you doing here? Get out. Like, what? Plus, Lucius Malfoy was highly involved in the situation. Like, highly involved. So not only does he not like Draco and think Draco is, like, a Death Eater sympathizer / maybe a baby Death Eater, he's like, your dad, like, get out. Like, do not speak to me. Do not look at me. Do not be near me.
And
like,
then he was there.
He's there well, that's when we find out. So, like, at some point, Draco's like, I just need you to trust me because Draco has switched sides. But Harry's like, tell me why. And he's like, I have. And he's like, and he tells him a little bit of it, but not all of it. And Harry's like, I don't believe you. And so Snape has been like, you have to tell him, you have to tell him, you have to tell him. And he never does, and he never does, and he never does. And then he, like, makes it happen. Snape kind of does. And Harry handles it, like, super chill, like a champ. Because at this point, like, he's not angry with him because Snape was there too for the thing. The thing that happens that's horrible, Snape is, like, there and can't do anything about it, right? But it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, it's horrible. It's horrible. But, like, he's, like, I already knew because I care. No, they don't tell you. Like, they don't tell you, really, but they kind of tell you, you know? It's like they sprinkle a little bit. But, like, in the middle of the scene before we even know Draco's gonna be, like, waiting around for him to, like, figure it out, like, there's this Death Eater who, like, flinches at random times, and I'm like, that's gotta be Draco. Like, it could be Snape, but Snape's not shorter than Lucius. And if Snape is shorter than Lucius, like, it doesn't make sense. Like, why would he? Snape would be he'd be occluding, like, he wouldn't do any of that.
So Snape is there as a Death Eater, watching this happen. I thought
Yes. So this is the 6th one before he hasn't been revealed as, like, a double agent, right? So, like, the Death Eaters think he's a true Death Eater. Okay. Well, and it gets...
This is very different than the last one.
Yes.
This is not the same.
No. It's so wild because, like, Voldemort... So at one point, Harry's like, how do you handle that? Like, how do you participate in these things and then, like, pretend everything's fine? And Snape's like, well, one, I don't participate. I worked it out in a way that I don't have to actively participate in anything they do.
Be there.
Right. And is still not okay with it. Like, Snape isn't okay with it, but Snape doesn't... Like, he's not given a choice by anyone.
Right.
And he's like, I have to do it for the greater good, in the sense of I have to be here and learn these things for the greater good, but I also can't participate in them because that will break me. But, like, I have to just stand here and watch it happen, and I can't do anything about it. It's a whole conversation between him and Harry. But in this particular scene,
he does nothing.
Snape?
Yeah.
In this scene, the particular one, well, so it gets crazy because Harry can't do magic for a very specific reason, but also a couple other reasons. And it's like Sanheim. I don't know the proper word to say, but it's a celebration, like, of, like, really old, like, not witchcraft, but like Merlin would call it the old religion. But, like, it's like Yule, but like Yule is Christmas time. Sanheim is, like, I think spring, or it's got to be. It must be an equinox. I don't know. But it's a thing, and Voldemort's gonna do this ritual with it, and they need Harry's blood, because they always need Harry's blood, right? But he's like, I don't need him to, like, be fine when he bleeds for me, so we can do whatever we want, because he can't beat us up. Like, he fight us. He can't even do magic. Right. So they find out through a multitude of things that Harry's afraid of needles. And so things just get a little ridiculous. And that's like where Lucius Malfoy's highly involved. It's a little crazy. But the problem is, to Voldemort's knowledge, Snape and Harry hate each other. A lot. Like a lot. And he's like, Snape, come hold him down. Yeah. And Snape's like,
oh, what scene from what movie am I thinking of?
I don't know.
What happens?
You'll figure it out. He's like, come hold him down. And Snape's like, I can't be involved in that. Like, I can't bloody my hands. And he's like, you won't be doing anything. Just hold him. Snape like can't not say no. Like it would reveal him as a traitor because it's Harry Potter. He's supposed to like hate Harry. And so like Harry's dealing with having to like separate the Snape he knows with this Snape. And so like plays into it, like tries to hit Snape, like, oh, it's crazy. It's crazy, right? He deals with that happens. They get out, right? Draco rolls up for no reason and Harry's like, what are you doing here? But during that scene, certain things happen where I'm like, that's gotta be Draco. Like there's no other option other than Draco was there. But then we never bring it up other than Draco being weird. And then they keep throwing self-help things at Harry because the only person he's comfortable with is Snape. And they're like, that's not safe for you. Like this, he actively participated in this. And like, that's just not okay. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds awful.
And I didn't even tell you like what happened to him. Like I didn't even go into that.
No, I don't even know.
But like Draco like sat there and like had to like watch it all go down.
Ugh.
It's
I hate torture.
It's crazy, bro.
I can't.
It's crazy. It's a really well thought out fan fiction. Like I will give it to it. The author put a lot of thought into how this fan fiction was going to go.
How long is it? It's really long, isn't it? I think you told me earlier, and I was like,
it's pretty long.
You were like, no, it's not that. It was like
long. It's 96
words.
chapters. It's 789,572 words.
Yeah.
It's just so well thought out. Like they started it well.
Yeah.
They put in this instance that doesn't make any sense for it to be there in the sense of like forwarding Severitis plot, but also it's perfect. Like it was the perfect setup into the situation. It reveals a bunch of information about Harry and Severus that leads into like the Sondheim thing and then leads into other things. It's super interesting. It's so interesting. I don't know where it's going though. Like I don't know how we're ending it, Well, and Harry still can't do magic.
But I mean, they're gonna follow like the plot-ish of the movie or books. Like with
Well, I don't know. So like Harry never goes back to Gryffindor Tower.
Dumbledore's still around, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Because Snape fully reveals himself as an ally to Harry. So all that stuff is going down and Snape is like right there. And then they're working so that like, there's like these things called like, I don't know if they're real. I don't actually know if they're in Harry Potter, but they're all over fan fiction. So we count them as real at this point. Anti-apparition wards, which means you can't, or like anti-portkey wards where you can't go in and out of a certain space with magic. The Order has been working to fight those, and as soon as they break, Snape like portkeys Harry away. So fully revealed as a good guy, can no longer like participate at all. So him killing Dumbledore, I don't know if it's gonna happen, but
yeah, it would have to be something else. Yeah,
I don't know.
Is this author a Dumbledore hater?
I don't know if she hates Dumbledore. She's using Dumbledore with specific intent. That is not great. Harry doesn't like him very much. I mean, Dumbledore's written as a for the greater good. That is how Dumbledore's written, even in the books. Mm-hmm. Everything is for the greater good. It's not about the one, it's about the 1,000. And that's how he's kind of well written in that sense, Dumbledore is. It's very interesting. I'm very intrigued. I'll let you know how it goes. Podcast, if you want to read it, y'all totally can. It's called A Year Like None Other by Aspen in the Sunlight. All one word. Yeah, you check that out, folks. It's a little dark. Is
some cautionary tags.
Yeah, it's rated teen and up. I think that's probably accurate, but definitely like trigger warnings too. Like the torture scene isn't in intense detail. Like we're not going into, but like also it's enough detail that you would be uncomfortable.
Yeah, but that also doesn't take much. So if you're wanting to read it,
but yeah, this is from 2013. No, slay. Yo.
It's 11 years old.
No complaintos.
That's crazy.
Quality. Oh, there's more. It's part of a series. Well, this is so not the point of today's podcast, but we journeyed into parenthood, which was interesting considering neither of us are parents at all.
Yeah.
And you don't really read this kind of stuff anyway, but fan fiction wise.
What do you mean? Like parent relationships?
Yeah. Do you? I mean, do we get a lot of Loki Odin? It
does get touched. I'm not opposed to it. It does get touched on, depending on the fic. I drop some recommendations. I am struggling to find like some good, like set in Asgard, family drama, Loki protagonist. Yeah. Original character would be fine. Like I don't have to have reader insert or anything like that. I would like a female like original character. But yeah, I've had a hard time finding anything that's completed. That's been the biggest thing, actually.
Are you looking for completed fics?
I just don't want. I'm tired. I'm still waiting on the one that I'm like currently reading, and it makes me so sad because I want to be able to get into it. Like,
and you can't because it's little bites.
If it's little bites, I don't have time to fully dive in.
Yeah, you remember how I found those fics that were uncompleted? Yeah, I haven't touched them.
You just saved them?
Yeah, but I'm watching. I get the emails as they, update. No, I haven't touched them.
Better than me. I binge read them and then I'm stuck.
I can't.
Yeah. It's not a good life to lead. No, and I'm all for, and I think I told you, like a couple months ago, I was like, I would really like to see like a dark Thor with Loki.
You did.
In like a brother relationship, but like showing kind of like Thor being not a good brother, because I do believe that there was probably a time where he was not.
Especially considering the first Thor movie, yeah.
Yes, and the whole, and him being like the golden child to Odin, I think definitely like in some early teen years, that's probably
absolutely,
and like a lot of like his trauma. And I would love to dive into Loki's trauma. Please let me hear about his trauma.
And then it ends up enemies to brothers. Well, we've officially not only derailed this train, it is like plummeting into a lake in some James Bond or, Anastasia style film. So we're going to go. I don't know what today was, but it was good.
I don't know. I guess we'll catch up on the reading next episode.
We've taken so many turns today. I don't even know.
That's okay. That's the vibe.
It's always the vibe, honestly. We never stay on.
Guys, we have to go. We're in the middle of a really important anime that I have to go finish.
If you have never experienced the absolute masterpiece that is Fruits Basket, you really need to.
Get into it.
This is serious, folks. I'm serious. Mm-hmm. It is high quality.
Mm-hmm.
You can watch the original and then come watch this. That's fine. Like, if you're like, it's not going to be as good. No, listen.
It's so good.
It's so worth it.
I've cried 4 times.
And we're only through season 1. There's 3 seasons, folks. Yep. It's so good. It is worth spending your time on. Dub or sub, both are quality. They are. And we, at this point, we plan to read fan fiction about it after we're done with it.
Absolutely.
So you're going to hear more about this, so you might as well go watch it so that you have context for what we're talking about.
Yep.
And if you haven't watched it, figure it out. And if you have watched it, watch it again. You know it's good. You know it's worth it. You might as well watch it again so that you remember all the drama fresh,
Yep. Because we will be talking about this.
Absolutely. All right, you guys get on that. We're gonna go.
We're gonna wrap it up. Thanks.
Peace.